Question 4. What is schema embedding in Vue? Schema embedding used to bound the object together. When we create an index of view, we need to use schema embedding to bound the view and the base table together. And this syntax is used to follow the create view, and we just create this view. When we want to have the grown by, then we need count big, and also the base table we need to use two-part name to reference it. Question 5. Can we use outer draw in index view? We cannot use the outer draw because the rows can logically disappear when we use the outer draw, and also the performance of the implementation will be slower than for views based on standard inner draw. Question 6. What's recursive CTE? CTE is the common table expression. It's a type of result set followed immediately the select query or some other data multiplication query. So the recursive CTE is the CTE recursive itself. There is a three part of the schema with recursive CTE's name as for initial query and the recursive query. And also this is the reference expression name selected from. And we usually use the union to combine the data together. Recursive CTE usually used at the hierarchical column. For example, we want the table at the employee table, we want the employee and the manager, and then we use recursive CTE. It's just a CTE schema. Question 7. Explain correlated subquery. Subquery is the query that leads it into other queries, and correlated query is the query that subquery relies the value from outer query, and it uses the value from the outer query and then execute and get the value, set the value to the outer query. This is just the correlated query or correlated query. 8. How to reset identity column value. We use a DBCC check index and column's name, receipt, and the value increment to reset identity column. For example, when we have an identity column and we insert two values, because one value might be not good at the constraint, so it might be rejected. And this time, when we just insert other query, it will use the three rows because it's identity column. So when we execute this DBCC check index receipt 1, and then we just insert the value again, and then it will become the second series, for example, the rows 2. 9. Explain fill factor. Fill factor just shows the percentage of the leaf level page free space. For example, if the value is 0 or 100, then it shows that the percentage of on the leaf level page is full of data. 10. What's DDL and DML trigger? Trigger is nothing, just a special store procedure. It cannot be called by our query directly. It be fired by the languages, for example, the DML language and the DDL language. So for DML language, a DML trigger, it means that the trigger execute when we execute data modification language, and then the trigger is fired. And DDL language means that when we execute the data definition language, and the language will be fired. Here was the 11. What's the recursive and nested trigger? Nested trigger just be follow the meaning that the trigger nested into one trigger, and when the trigger is fired, then the trigger nested into it be fired. And also for there's a table, and the table execute the query and find the trigger, and then it will modify another table, and the table also have the trigger, so it just fired the other trigger. So the max level is 32. The recursive trigger just a unique type of nested after trigger. So there's two type of indirect recursive trigger and direct incursive trigger. For this direct recursive trigger, we can see that when we modified the table T1, then fired the table trigger TR1, and then we update the table T1. Because the table T1 was updated, so trigger TR1 fire again, and this is a loop. This is the recursive triggers. How to do noun values for 12? We usually use some functions for is noun, if noun, them, and IIF, such kind of function to deal with the values, noun values. Question 30. Sparse column and the persisted column. Sparse column is just we manage a noun value and zero value. For this, we need to use the creative table, and then just select the primary key. We set the sparse. This sparse column might save our CPU space 20 to 40% of, so it's very useful. For persistent column means that the calculate column is physically stored in the table, so this is called the persistent column. 40. What is filter index? Can we create filter index or cluster index? Filter index, it just means the index we followed with the where clause, and that means we create a filter in the index. We cannot create filter index or clustered index. We just can create filter index at the non-clustered index. 50. How to handle error in STORM or T-SQL queries? Just select the question. We use the try and catch block to examine the errors. And when the try block statement have some errors, it will jump to the catch block, and catch block have some systems error functions. It will shows the errors some information. So this is we handle the errors in store procedure or TC queries.